This is the iHealth Soothe TENS machine. So it comes with an LCD monitor, has a bunch of different modes on it. You can use this for back, shoulder, neck, sciatica, calves, ankles, forearms, biceps, pretty much anywhere. It comes with a 90-hour battery life, and it also has a lot of multi-size electric modes or pads, the electrode pads that you can put on. So just a couple of ideas right here. So we're looking at the different pads where you could put them. It comes with 24 treatments. So depending on how many pads you put on, it may limit the amount of treatments that you had. But we're going to do an unboxing, kind of walk through everything. I'll tell you before we unbox what comes with it. It does come with the one main unit, a storage bag, two bunch of bag holders, the electrode cords, and then a bunch of different sensors in a bunch of different shapes. It also comes with 4 AAA batteries. If you've watched my videos before, I love it when stuff comes with batteries, so it's absolutely amazing. It has a quick start guide and instruction manual, but if you've never used one of these before, this is something when you would go into like PT. I remember going in for my knee, and they had a big thing and they would put on my knee that would kind of just, you know, strengthen the muscle or relieve some of the pain that was going on after surgery. This is something very similar that you can do at your own home now. There are 15 different levels. You also have a dual channel that you can basically go back and forth between. So there's, I want to get specific on the pads, and that's why I'm reading, because I want to make sure you've got 8 2x2 pads, and then you've got 2 2x4 pads. Those smaller ones are for shoulders, wrists. Your larger ones are for your back, thigh, and you know, probably your buttocks or stuff like that. So it does again have an extended battery life. Comes with 4 quadruple or AAA batteries, and it'll give you up to 90 hours of use standby time. So let's jump in and kind of show you. I'm actually going to do an example, probably on my forearm, and just show you what it looks like and how these work. So let's jump into the box and show you what's in here. Okay, here we go. So iHealth, they make a ton of different items for home use. So here's your main screen right here. This is the main unit. Right here is where we're going to put our batteries. So we'll actually just set this right here because we're going to use that in just a second. This is where you can put all your nodes when you're done. So there's 2 of those plates. Then you've got a kind of a cloth bag to carry everything. And these are the electronic nodes that you actually just put onto the patch. And then this is where it's basically going to stimulate your muscle here. So you've got 1 and 2. And they're split far enough. I'm just going to open this really quick so you can see it if you're thinking about purchasing this. They're split far enough that it looked like from the images, yeah, that you could actually probably run 2 different patches. If you're doing a single patch, one on the front, on the back. Let's say you're doing your forearm, you wanted one right here and then one on the top, or you could just run 1. So I'm not going to undo the other one, but you can see that that's there. And then underneath all of this, we're going to have all of our different patches with the nodes. Then we have our batteries. Let me make sure that everything else is okay. Then we have our instruction manual here. Kind of walks you through everything, different languages. Obviously, it's going to show you how to use it, your different channels, different things like that. As always, it's going to give you a warning. You don't want to put it on your neck, over by your heart, your jaw, or your brain. And then here's your quick start guide. And so I'm actually just going to follow the quick start guide and go through and then just do a little demo. And you can kind of follow along as we do this. So I'll try and keep all of this on the camera, but obviously we're just going to take our batteries. Put these in. And I love it. It's like putting together a puzzle piece every time you use batteries. Gotta make sure you know which way it goes. So I think depending on what pain, where the pain is at, I would still do some research about how long, how often you'd want to do this on the muscles. So again, we've got the batteries in, and we're just going to power this guy on right here. See that? If I put the batteries in correctly. There are nodes. Oh, there we go. So you can see that bright blue LCD screen. Now, if you've never done this before, again, what you'll want to do is you'll want to clean the areas of treatment. So depending on what part of the body you're going to do, you want to just make sure that you wash it off and everything. So I'm actually just going to do one patch on my forearm and kind of walk you through that. So I'm just going to do a small patch. So we'll zoom back out so you can see all of this again. Remove some of the trash. And again, we're just following the quick setup guide here. And so once we get it on, we would select the A/B mode to kind of go through. And the A is going to be on the left and B is going to be on the right. So when I talk about A and B mode, it's not really A and B mode, it's just which port you're going to use. So the A port or the B port on the patch. And the idea of this, right, is to stimulate the muscles to relax them. When you pull them off, it's going to have this kind of sticky stuff. It's not ultra sticky, but it's, I mean, you can see it's pretty sticky. You can see my fingerprints there. So I'm going to just throw it right here on my forearm. And we're going to grab one of these nodes, plug this guy in. And so you'll see here, make sure that we're on. I don't know if it's a long press or a short press. I turned it off, so I may edit this out. And so with the screen, we have our different modes here. And you can see that we have a timer up here. So we want to make sure that we're on A. We're changing modes here. So each one of these is a different mode. More like massage, heavy duty massage. So I just turned it off. You can change everything, and basically to get going, once we get that, and then we'll get going. So we've got everything connected now, we've chosen our modes, and so I've actually got it on and it's going. So we actually have two patches here. You've got to have a circuit closed. So I'm going to change the mode, and you'll see here that once I'm ready to go, I just start pushing the up arrow, and that's actually going to start everything. And so this is a little bit more intense, so I'm going up different levels. So when I was on the different mode, this is doing long shocks for, so there's different methods of the shock. So there's one that's intense, and then it kind of stops for a minute, and then it goes up a little bit more, obviously with more power, it goes up a little bit more. So I'm going to change the mode back to the massage mode so you can actually see that. So that was the easiest one to see. So I'm in that top right mode right up here. I'm on A, which is the port that I'm plugged in here. I've got two patches to close that circuit. And when I press the up button, you'll see that little bar that goes up. And I'm on the kind of a level 3. You can see right there at my elbow, there's a little bit of a kind of tensing moment. And as I turn it up, that'll get more and more severe because the power and the electricity that's coming through is more and more. So that one's there. So depending on where your muscle pain is, how long you've had it, what you've done previously, all sorts of other things, right? You can, and this is just me turning up the power and the intensity just a little bit. So it'll kind of just keep going like that. And depending on the mode, you can read more about them in the instruction manual. It will tell you basically what kind of electricity you're going to get. There you go. So that one's more intense and kind of doing my whole arm there. Feels different on different parts of the body, right? The back is, not, I guess, as sensitive. Your thigh, your quad is going to just be super intense. You can see right there. It's like almost like it's pulsating. Anyway, so a lot of different options with this guy. You have a ton of different patches. I would say you could reuse the patches again, depending on you and your situation. They do have kind of a non-stick stuff on the back. There's the pad. So I would save this after I unplug the electrodes and pull these off, right? I would just throw them right back on this sticky part and potentially use them again. I think it depends on how often you're going to basically do your sessions or your PT at home. Different parts of the body, again, like I said earlier, react to the electricity a little bit differently. It is great for shoulders. I've used it on my knee before. Back, obviously. But you also don't want to overdo it. You don't want to rely on the device to, remove all of your pain. And with all things health related, again, I am not a professional. I would recommend, talking to a doctor before, doing your own kind of sessions at home and what that looks like.